All right, so today we are sitting in an F-150. In fact, this might become a 4-part video depending on how long this video is, but we're going to be sitting in a total of 4 F-150s with 4 different engine options. That being the 3.5 liter Power Boost, the 3.5 liter Ecoboost, the 2.7 liter Ecoboost, and the 5 liter V8. And this is going to be an engine comparison over and across all of these engines. We're going to go over power numbers, payload capacities, we're going to go over the towing capacities, and how they are like to drive. So starting, we are in the 2.7 liter Ecoboost, and I'm going to give a disclaimer out real quick. I'm not going to include the 3.3 liter gas engine. I actually have never been in nor seen an F-150 equipped with that 3.3 liter gas engine, even the commercial vehicles. Most of the commercial vehicles I've seen are actually equipped with the 3.5 liter Ecoboost, Power Boost, or the 5 liter V8. Not many are equipped with the 2.7 from what I've seen, and with the dealership I work with, I've seen their commercial vehicle inventory, and the 2.7 isn't a huge population of all the cars they sell. Usually it's the 2.35s and the 5 liter V8. But anyways, like I said, I'm sitting in the 2.7 liter Ecoboost right now, and this one makes 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And the way this one is equipped right now, this one has the payload package on it, 4-wheel drive, and it is the Super Crew configuration. We can get going right now. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the gas mileage of the 2.7 liter Ecoboost. Now there's 3 outcomes you can get in 3 EPA ratings for this vehicle, depending on whether you have the 4-wheel drive, the 2-wheel drive, and whether you have auto stop start on or off. Now, as for the 2-wheel drive version with the 2.7 liter, your gas mileage ratings are going to be 20, 26, 22. That's 20 city, 26 highway, and 22 combined. Now, as for the 4-wheel drive version with auto stop start enabled, that is going to give you 19 city, 24 highway, and 21 combined. And when you go all the way up to 4-wheel drive and you have auto stop start disabled, it's going to be 19 city, 24 highway, and 20 combined. Now the next section I want to talk about is going to be the towing capacities of this engine. So there are a lot of configurations for the F-150, and like I said, this might end up being a 4-part video just because the amount of configurations for differential configurations, for drivetrain configurations, for the length of the box in the bed, these all make a difference in the towing capacity of each one of these engines. And of course, if you get the payload package, that also makes a big difference to it, especially when you go up into the higher levels of the F-150. Now, starting with the 2.7 equipped with the regular cab configuration in 2-wheel drive only. If you get the 315 or the 355 axle with the 6.5 length box in the back, this can tow 7,600 pounds. Now, if you get the same differential configurations in the same configuration for the drivetrain with the 2.7, it can tow 7,600 pounds as well. Now, if you get the 373 with the 8-foot bed and the payload package configured, this is the payload package which is different from the rest, this thing can tow up to 10,000 pounds with the 2.7 liter Ecoboost. Now, if you were to get the regular cab 2.7 with 4-wheel drive instead and you had the 355 differential in the back, the 6.5-foot box and the 8-foot box can both tow 7,700 pounds. Now, if you were to get the 373 axle ratio with the 6.5-foot box and the regular cab configuration with the 2.7, this would be able to tow 8,500 pounds, and with the 8-foot box with that same configuration, it'd be 8,400 pounds. And then if you get the 373 axle ratio with the 8-foot box and the payload package, you'd be able to tow 10,000 pounds. All right, now we're going to move on to the Super Cab with rear-wheel drive configured with the 2.7. If you were to get this 315, 355 axle ratio or other one with the 6.5-foot box in the back, this would be able to tow 7,700 pounds. Now, if you were to get it with the 8-foot box in the back, it could only tow 7,600 pounds, so it's only a 100-pound difference. Now, if you took out the 315 and the 355 and you put the 373 in there with the rear-wheel drive and the 2.7 with the Super Cab, the 6.5-foot bed will be able to tow 8,400 pounds, and the 8-foot would be able to tow 8,300 pounds. Now, with the Super Cab configuration, both the 6.5-foot bed and the 8-foot bed can get the payload package. And both the 6.5-foot bed and the 8-foot bed with the payload package with the 2.7 liter Super Cab with the 373 can tow 10,000 pounds each. Now, if instead of you getting the two-wheel drive and you moving up to the four-wheel drive version of this car, the 355 with the 6.5-foot bed can tow 7,600 pounds. Now, if you get the 373 axle ratio with the 8-foot bed, then this can tow 8,100 pounds in four-wheel drive. And then if you were to equip the payload package on top of the 6.5-foot bed with the 373 axle ratio, this could tow 10,100 pounds. All right, now moving on to the 2.7 models with the Super Crew and rear-wheel drive instead of four-wheel drive. Now, as for the two with the 315 and the 355, the 5.5-foot bed can tow 7,700 pounds, while the 6.5-foot bed can tow 7,800 pounds. Now, you can also get the 373 axle in the back instead of the 31355, and that means the 5.5-foot and the 6.5-foot can both tow 8,300 pounds. Now, if you keep that same axle configuration and get the payload package on top of that with the Super Crew and the 2.7, both the 5.5-foot and the 6.5-foot can tow 10,000 pounds. Now, as for the four-wheel drive models with the Super Crew and the 2.7, now if you're to get the 355 axle with the 5.5-foot box in the back, it can tow 7,700 pounds with the 2.7. And if you were to get the 5.5-foot bed with the 373 axle, then it can tow 8,100 pounds. Then if you were to keep that same configuration and just add the payload package on top of it, then it can tow 10,100 pounds. So that payload package in all of these cases makes a huge difference. Now we can move on to the payload capacities, which is just a little different than the towing capacities. The payload capacities is what you can put in the truck itself and not tow. Now, as for the regular cab with two-wheel drive, the payload capacity of the 6.5-foot box can do 1,875, that's pounds, and then the 8-foot configuration can do 1,905 pounds. Now, if you get the 8-foot with the payload package on it, it can do 2,480 pounds. Now, next is if you're going to have that same configuration, regular cab 2.7, but with four-wheel drive, the 6.5-foot bed can do 1,705 pounds, and the next, the 8-foot bed can do 1,885 pounds. Now, if you're to do the 8-foot box configuration with the payload package on it, then it could have a payload capacity of 2,125 pounds. Now, if you were to do the rear-wheel drive configuration for the Super Cab, the 6.5-foot box could do 1,885, and if you got the payload package on top of that 6.5-foot box, then you'd be able to do 2,175. Now, if you were to get the 8-foot box configuration on the Super Cab with rear-wheel drive, then it would be 1,925 for the payload capacity, and if you were to throw the payload package on top of that, then it would be 2,225. And then if you were to get the 6.5-foot with the Super Cab four-wheel drive, then it would be 2,165 pounds with the payload package on it. And now next is going to be of course, the Super Crew cab with the rear-wheel drive. Now, if you were to get the 5.5-foot box with the Super Crew and rear-wheel drive, then it would be 1,850 pounds for the payload capacity, and if you were to get the payload package on top of that, then it would be 1,960 pounds. If you were to get the 6.5-foot box without the payload package, then it would be 1,830 pounds, and then if you were to get that with the payload package on it, then it would be 2,085 pounds. And last but not least, with the four-wheel drive configuration with the 2.7 in the Super Crew, the 5.5 box could do 1,760 pounds, and if you were to get the payload package on top of that, then it could do 1,960 pounds. Now that we're done with all the boring stuff, which is the towing capacities, which I know some of you care about out there, and the payload capacities, which I know some of you guys care about, how does the 2.7 drive? Well, I can tell you confidently that it's not slow, but it does fall on its face after about 60 or 70 miles an hour compared to the 3.5 or the V8 or the Power Boost. Of course, the Power Boost is going to be the fastest, but this is about the 2.7. For anyone just looking to get around and get started pretty quickly without any lag, the 2.7 is a really good engine. And as we discovered, the 2.7 can tow quite a bit. See, I'm passing someone right now, and it did fine. It gets up to speed pretty quickly. It's when you pass a certain threshold does the 2.7 start to lose out on that, especially because of all of these engines that we're reviewing. The 2.7 is going to be the least powerful, but it still does get up pretty quickly. And from a dig, if you are, for whatever reason, racing your F-150 with the 2.7, it gets to 60 decently quickly, but it's not going to be a race car. But like I said, it tows a decent amount. It's not the best in class. but it does tow a decent amount, and it gets you where you need to go without having any problems. It's definitely not as powerful compared to the other engines out there that you can get for the F-150, but it will do. Now, the cost in this car of it being upgraded to the 2.7 liter V6 is $1,162. Now, with all the other goodies in this thing, like the increased axle ratio, which this one has 373, and the payload package on it, that comes with a little more of a cost, but the engine alone is $1,162 for this vehicle. So yes, if I were to get an F-150, I wouldn't be getting the 2.7. I'd want the 3.5, the V8, or the Power Boost. Now, if you're looking to buy an F-150 and you don't want the 3.3 liter gas engine, because the 2.7 is a lot better, go up to the 2.7. Don't stick with the 3.3 liter gas engine. I'm definitely not going to include the 3.3 liter gas engine. I don't know what order the other ones are going to be in. I know we're starting with the 2.7 because that is the cheapest upgrade from the 3.3 liter gas. But anyways, guys, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe to see more informational videos like this, car reviews, and other fun car videos as well. And I'll see you all in the next video.